I was really hoping that conversation would continue and we'd cut in the middle of it. It should be awkward in a way that I like to start sessions. Unfortunately, I missed this week. But
Thwarted again.
but I am, as ever, Andrew Away, and we are that D&D podcast, and it's my job to say to you, hello guys, gals, non-binary pals. It is my exquisite pleasure to bring you session 6, I guess. I'm probably off by 1 because programming.
Do we start at 0?
Yeah, we did.
Well, shit.
Right. But I'm going to stop talking and let these lovely people introduce themselves in disc order.
I believe that means I'm up. Hi, I'm Adam. Today I will be playing Magnus Luciano, the up-and-coming mogul of Thundering Valley.
Hi, I'm Mike J. Darkson Berard, and I'm playing Lady Margareta Agnesia Luca Pasqualina Bianca de Fabri. We'll see.
Okay.
We're gonna see where this session takes us.
Ominous. Zach, you're muted.
No.
Now you're audible.
I was just making ominous music cues with my mouth. It's fine. Hi, I am Zach. He/him pronouns. I am playing Indiso de la Vino, Master Sage Wizard of Two Tusks Grapery, who last time started construction on a distillery, and then found out through a hole in his vineyard, essentially, that there is an orc god of fungus, wine, feasts, and endings.
Yeah.
That
Sorry, it's not feast, it's sacrament.
Oh, sorry, sacraments. And that lives in the
Has
the earth,
blessed.
has blessed. So
It was. I think it was like the light hitting the hill as you were guiding your guide functionally up the around your vineyard.
it's a grapery. It says so on the side.
So.
But don't call him a grapist. He's been here for years.
You've almost broken my brain to the point where that was the first thing that my mind went to, and I was like, no, stop, bad. That's not how words.
But yeah, I will be. I'm kind of over here playing my own game a little bit, just like
Guys, you've
Harvest
abandoned us
Mooning.
revolutionaries.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll come back. I definitely did try to poison that dude. So
I think we've already made the Stardew Valley comparison where you're playing the Stardew Valley thing. Adam is Jojo Mart, and Margareta is just running around in the mines murdering slimes.
that collect taxes.
Well,
Tax collector slimes.
I mean, yeah. Aren't all tax collectors slime, Zach?
wow.
Actually, doesn't. Okay, so maybe, but Marguerite probably doesn't actually think that, does she?
I mean, probably not. But I've spent all week reading pseudo superhero fiction and exploring the criminal justice system, so I have thoughts and feelings.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Go with those feelings, Mike. Go with those feelings.
Yeah, we can talk about them less on air, perhaps,
Great.
or equally on air, but in a different setting.
I really like that. I'm playing a character that is systematically destroying the government by shooting people who collect taxes. We can talk about other stuff, the other weirder stuff, off air.
Yeah.
Well, it's off topic.
All right, and let's go through everybody's beliefs, instincts, and traits. Adam.
Yeah, sorry, just get to the right page here.
No worries.
So yes, Magnus's beliefs. I still have non-citizens should not be allowed here. I'll drive them out of business. Which I don't know if I was thinking of making it more specific, but we'll leave it for this session.
Okay.
I must preserve the citizenship. I'll bring together the old families while restoring the Merchant's Guild, which I did, so I need to change that. I had something for setting initial goals for the
guild.
that the guild has been restored. Some about bringing. Let's see. First steps to bringing it back to power. Or bringing it. Let's see. What did I try? Oh, so last session I tried to reinstate like titling system, merchant titling system, a merchant registration list.
Yeah.
That didn't work so well. So let's see.
The merchant registration program.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tried to institute papers again. Who was allowed to be in what businesses? That didn't work.
I was going for the mutant registration parallel.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going for the straight Nazi version. So.
Oh no, I was thinking mutants.
We're gonna go with the allegory for Nazis as opposed to actual Nazis.
Yeah. Once removed here. Yeah, so I guess I'll work with that while everybody else is doing their beliefs. So I get something. Basically, the second belief is going to be the initial goals for the guild to bring it some more power. And then wealth must be recognized by the nobles. I'll open negotiations with them.
Okay.
Instincts, never pay full price for anything. Refuse to lie to make a deal. I'm writing my memoirs. Two traits. Inscrutable, distracted, self-satisfied, prideful, traditionalist, and affinity for business.
Good stuff. Lady Margareta.
My beliefs are: I will win my father's favor by inserting myself into the usurper's court. I will disrupt the usurper's efforts by gaining access to their ledgers, and all changes rooting chaos and killing a placeholder here is the next step on that path. I'm still working through that because I think that is not well defined, right? Like, I'm going to go kill a person is both fine and not good enough. So my instincts: I will pry every secret from every lip, never let someone get too close, always be network building. My traits are your lordship, because I am lay noble. Prideful, traditionalist, and violent, as are all people native to the Thundering Valley. I'm a cold-hearted darling of the court with a mark of privilege and an aura of innocence.
I love how the path of your traits is just like that's a tale, right?
Yeah, it's lovely. I'm super happy with this description. But like, I've got to play that cold-hearted bit, right? I've got to be doing something that, so like that third one needs to be rooted in violence or something of that nature.
I mean, so here's a pitch. Because not only are you a violent person, you're a violent traditionalist person. You can walk into court and manufacture a controversy, slap a fool, and challenge him to a duel.
Make a reason to stab somebody, Mike.
Like there are ways and means of
duel of wits someone into actually dueling you.
But like, first I have to poison them so that I'm sure that I'll win.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, I like this. If only I knew someone with wine that I could poison.
Really good wine, like good wine.
My relationships are the prince. I am I am a prince's disfavored daughter, and Timothy Kartswallop, who's currently not. I'm trying not to harm, and I believe that I will be forming a relationship with his elder brother here in a few minutes.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you're not really circling him so much as you're going to be led to the cell where he's detained.
Sure, but we're going to make him friends.
Okay.
Always be networking. Make sure you walk away with a card.
That's right. So have I ever told you the writings of
Shan
Yu? Yes.
Speaking of cards.
Ooh.
It's backwards in my camera, but you know.
I moved my microphone and now you hit it more.
All right, Zach.
Okay. That is me. So I am playing Indiso again, the master of the grapery. So my beliefs have changed a fair amount since last time because we had sort of a discussion at the end about a couple of them are the same thing, and then like this new thing is also happening. And so we'll start with the one that's the least changed. My dreams have power and will show me the path forward. I will consult the Ancient One to better interpret my next one.
Great.
So my second belief, and this one's a little bit like the last, is sort of the two from the last time rolled together. I am building a great future for the grapery. I will direct construction to keep it moving apace.
Okay.
And belief number one is the most changed is the old god Pakun favors this grapery. I will locate someone learned in the orcish ways of worship to help me seal the pact.
It's Pokken.
Bakken?
Yeah, like Bach.
I get that. I'm probably not going to be pronouncing it that way though.
That's fine. You can be wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that Indiso is not going to. Yeah.
Just like Quail, your major domo, just constantly being like, "It's Pokken. He's not going to answer if you keep calling him fucking Pakun." If this works, I'm out.
For some reason, it keeps working.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as I offer him wine, it'll be fine.
I feel like one of your instincts by the end of this campaign will be, it's better to be lucky than good.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. My luck runs very hot and cold. So my instincts are: I will always accept drink if offered and inquire if none is. I will look for occult signs in all things, and I will always follow my dreams.
Great.
My character traits are patient, off-kilter, prideful, violent traditionalist. I am no longer extremely respectful of my betters, but I am a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
So. Then I got relationships with my cousin, who's not my cousin lover, and the sister-in-law princess, who has not come up at all. The old mystic of the valley, which is the learned one.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working on Bella Fusilere, board heiress of the Saltpeter Mines.
So when you say your sister-in-law... Oh, sister-in-law to the princess. Okay.
Yeah. No,
So-
I've never been married.
But that's like
I don't think. Maybe I have, and I don't remember. I don't know.
That's like a distant familial relation to Margareta, then. If only by marriage.
Could very well be, yes.
Intriguifying.
But Indiso doesn't have a scar.
No, he's not noble.
Yeah, I know.
I just would not have been caught dead dueling regardless. Indiso doesn't duel people. When Indiso absolutely has to get rid of somebody...
Here, hold my wine.
Exactly. Here, this is all here. I've prepared something. Would you like a taste?
Please hand this to the person next to you. I don't want to accidentally poison the right person.
I have the most interesting vintage in my basement. You should come check it out.
This cask
Yeah.
has to be seen to be believed.
Really get down in there and admire the grain.
Quail's just got it hiding around the corner with a wheelbarrow full of bricks and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Cask of Amontillado.
All right. Does anyone have a scene that they are burning with desire to see?
I think that I am going to wind up changing my third belief to something along the lines of I will subvert the usurpers by turning their own laws and traditions against them.
So here's another thing I've noticed about your character, and I don't know if you're leaning into this on purpose or not. But the hunt mistress, the old governess who called you into her office, you're fairly dismissive and hostile towards her, and so I'm wondering if there's something there is something in the current ruling powers are fat and incompetent, and like I should see them removed as well as these usurpers, because clearly they can't be trusted, right? Like it almost seems anarchic, or at least like everything that has been tried up to this point hasn't especially worked, and maybe Dad's the dude for the job.
I think that, like, I think Margaret's end game is to install herself in the seat of power.
Okay, so I mean, like, you could have that as a belief, like,
Yeah.
power belongs in my
This world
hands.
is a mess, and I just need to rule it.
Functionally, so like this world is a mess, and I just need to rule it. Therefore, I will smaller goal, or like, power belongs in a hand that can take it. Therefore, I shall thing.
Yeah. Okay.
In the meantime,
Oswald.
do you want
Yeah,
to torture
I'm-
someone?
Yeah, but let somebody else word for a little bit, because I want to, like, make sure I'm working towards a goal.
Sure. So I mean, do we get a shot, like an opening shot of like the sun rising over some idyllic hills, and there's like bird song briefly until it's just like sawing noise, sawing noise, sawing noise, hammer, hammer, hammer.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was chewing, and these taggies are so loud I can not even hear myself, let alone others around them. Was that directed towards Margreta or someone else?
No, that's to
Certainly
Zach.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking so. Although I didn't want to completely discount the option that was like the torture method somehow. Like we were gonna hear screaming and the birds were gonna scatter. Yeah, no, there's big construction going on at the Great Marine. I think so. A couple of things are going on at once. So my some portion of my workforce, my orcish workforce,
Yep.
right, is helping build this distillery and like do the new construction on the chapel / sanctuary thing. And so I'm like overseeing them and walking through and sort of giving them advice they don't want and just generally building up ill will with my workforce.
Are you angling towards some kind of penalty, and are you like looking to cash in fate on a trade or something?
I don't know. I mean, I just
Because you're
can't-
describing a narrative detriment to your goals, and I don't want to stop you from like doing that. But this feels like you're either angling towards getting a trait stapled onto Indiso in a couple sessions when you do a trait vote, or it feels like, because otherwise it's just I can make the roll harder for you and you fail, but for no reason. Because like if your workers hate you, it's probably going to make administering them harder.
Probably. I mean, I think in my head, they see me. I've told them what to do.
Yep.
They know how to do it.
Yep.
I don't know how to do it,
Sure.
right? Or they don't think I know how to do it, at least.
Mhm.
They have good reason to believe I don't know how to do it. And so I'm out here, like, busybodying away, right?
Mhm.
But I think the reason I'm out here at all and not, like, actively communing with Hakun at this point is because I'm like canvassing them subtly or otherwise to see if any of them have like good ideas for how that should go down. Like, is there a keeper of the old ways amongst these folks?
Oh, so
Or
that
do
sounds
they
like
know it?
circles.
I was thinking too. Yeah, circles definitely make sense for that.
Okay. This is going to be an interesting circles roll.
But yeah, I'll be walking sort of like backslapping and saying good work, but we need to make sure that is faced directly along this angle, and like dropping a plumb, like pulling a plumb bob and pulling it up. And, like, the angulation here is very important. We have to catch specific sun on the solstice, and all this other new agey bullcrap that Indiso is into right now.
Mhm.
And make sure you're driving the timbers down into the earth to get the blood of the soil into the structure. It's very important.
You just ram untreated lumber straight into the dirt. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, that's how it absorbs the blood.
Yeah, no, you can't treat it. It has to it has to have room for the blood and the fungus to get inside, right?
It just occurred to me that I have a very fun direction to take this. Okay.
Great. I'm into it.
Okay. Let's figure out that circles role. If you're looking for someone, if you're actually looking to like direct people, then that's probably a different role at this point.
I think finding a person to do this other thing is way more important to
Sure.
Indy. So yeah.
Okay, so you're just like, are you floating stuff out to see if anyone like, no, idiot, it's actually this thing? Like, what are you looking for?
Somewhat. I'm also like just straight up asking, and I'll probably start with like the oldest looking ones.
Great.
Like just straight up ageism.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna go and be like, okay, you're old. Do you know? Tell me of Pakun, aged one,
Okay.
and see what that turns up for me. Essentially,
I think this is a specific occupation.
okay,
I think this is an occupation that is rare or unique within our setting.
okay, awesome.
I think they're the same station ranker class as you, which is to say both of you aren't especially like well off.
I think yes. If any of these people is the answer,
Right.
I think I would potentially. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you might think you outrank them socially.
Yes. They probably have other feelings there. I imagine, like in my head, like they just don't even like operate on the normal like colonialists social standing metrics here.
Part of it is you're actually legitimately good at making wine. Like, despite Zach's protestations that Indiso's a fuck up, like a constant fuck up, true as the North Star, a fuck up, you're actually really good at rolling dice to make wine.
Mm-hmm.
And like they respect that because
Okay.
this is a holy
Okay.
place, and you were doing possibly quite literally their god's work in turning their grapes into exceptional wine.
Okay.
So you have some respect among your workforce. You're a blowhard and an asshole, so you're not popular.
Okay. Yeah.
But thus far, you haven't proven yourself to be like cruel or vindictive or anything. So
No.
okay, so
Just a moron.
a 3 ob for the specific occupation, same station. I think we're already covering the knowledge in the occupation.
Yeah.
And time and
I
place.
think-
This is where this person would be. It feels like.
Yeah, I feel like if someone who was already sort of doing that might be here or immediately connected to here.
Would you
Waiting
keep
for
like
shift.
elderly people working on your farm?
I think I probably would. I
Okay.
think. I mean, what I'm a very patient person. It says so. As I have a trait for that, right?
You've
So,
definitely
like,
leaned into that trait this entire time. This entire
well,
time.
I think I
You're
think
allowed to
that-
lean
that-
into it when you want. It's yes.
Yes. So I think the way that sort of one of the ways that sort of manifests within DSO is that like winemaking, you take the long view, right?
Okay.
And so you don't turn over your workforce that knows how to do the thing if they don't want to go. If they don't want to work here anymore, then like this is too hard, we can't do this thing anymore. Like that's whatever, fine. I don't no hard feelings. But like if the old hands want to stay on, you let them stay on because they actually know how the thing works, right?
Okay. I think this is going to be an ob of 5. So I think it might be a little unusual. The person I'm thinking of is old, and then I think, legitimately, I think what happens if we fail is like, yeah, they're like a priest of the cult of Pokken, but they're just like, it's their first day, sort of thing.
Oh, see, I like that. I like that because my thought was, okay, no one's here, but they're like, you jerk, get off our land.
You're gonna get like a sweet little puppy dog who's just happy to be here.
Can I include my reputation since it's 4?
Yeah.
Since we already talked about how
Yeah.
Vintner respects. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Where'd my die pool go? There it is. 2, and we're shooting at what again? Sorry.
5, I said.
5.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Oh, 6. Oh God.
Did you go for it?
Hold on. Let me look at what my pools are right now. I have 10 fate.
You
Fuck it,
have
we're
10
going
fate.
We're going for it.
I want to believe.
No.
You should learn astrology.
I should learn astrology. I'll open that later.
I think
we'll
you
add that to
have?
the list. No.
Oh no, that was
No.
I think symbology was astrology because that was the thing you were using to discern things. Or no, you helped with astrology.
I think
She
I
did
think
astrology and you helped with something else.
We had a big discussion about this
Yeah.
actually, and we came back around to me learning symbology.
Yes.
So I can open astrology. I just take 6 failed rolls, and
Right.
we'll have it.
Okay. So yeah. A couple of the elders just sort of stare at you blankly when you ask about Pokken, and they're like, "What? You want to go talk to?" I need a name for this character.
I like the idea. I like the idea that like most of them that are here are like new Reconstructionist orcs that don't go in for all that, and there's just like this one like neo-pagan dwarf or neo-pagan orc kid at the back, like in his trench coat with his.
I need a good orc name. So I mean, so far we've got Quail.
Quail.
Are they all animals?
I don't know if they're all animals, but I think they're all like sort of simple, natural in the stupid feel good way that natural is used often.
Not like pheasants?
No.
They also might just be giving this. This is just the name they gave us too, right? Like they're like, okay, those people can't pronounce orc names. We're not going to make them.
No, absolutely.
Deer is a good name for one.
Especially with this one because it's deer in the headlights, right? Like,
Yes, this is my son, Ungulate.
Pork chop.
He's Moose.
Moose.
He's Moose.
Is it a really small orc?
Yes.
It's a tiny orc named Moose.
Yeah.
I like it.
Run to the litter. Hi, webcam. There we go.
So I imagine I'm having this conversation with like these two like gray-haired, wizened old orcs that are still keeping up with the youngins with their like
Oh, these are
sawing and
like the I can't remember the exact phrasing, but Pat Rothfuss once described like a 65-year-old man in Kansas as like the kind of person who could just beat his ass up and down the entire farm twice, sort of thing, right? Like,
yeah.
just toned and more active than
So I'm talking to them and sort of being very deferential and like trying to show some respect to these older individuals. I don't know if we've ever like gendered an orc actually in my head. I have no idea what this workforce looks like. But they're and then like they're like whatever talk to the weird kid.
You want to talk? Well, no, they're like, you want to talk to Moose, and we get this scene of like this giant strapping orc up a hill,
like carrying a log on each shoulder.
Well, yeah, just like rams one of them straight into the ground, and you're just like, yes. And they're like, no, just to the, and you notice like just behind and off to the side of that orc is Moose, who's like 4'8", and has like the shitty beard.
Yeah, and is like currently struggling to like set a pin to knock it into a frame of some sort.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make my way over. Moose, hello. How are you doing? And I'll like sort of dodge the big orc on the way through.
Yeah, like there's this. Well, this. We see like you duck, but it's unnecessary as this beam just goes over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, sir. Is it sir? It's sir, right? Boss?
It's close enough. It's close enough.
Should I call you boss?
You can call me Indiso.
Good to meet you, boss. Indiso, and like sticks out a hand, and then is like, no, wait, it's the other one, and like sticks out their left hand, and they're like, no, wait, it's.
I'll pat him on the head.
Puts out both hands, just like expecting you to shake one of them.
You give him a hug.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other move, right? Like I just give him a hug. You come highly recommended by the elders, Moose. I am looking for an expert in orcish religious ways. We have reason to believe that there is a mark of one of your gods on the grapery, and want to exercise the proper sacraments and methods and all these things to properly respect them. And you were pointed out as someone who would know how to do this.
I
And I'll like offer him the bottle.
Yeah. He takes a slug. Like, actually, this might be the thing Moose is best at.
Okay.
Like, pound for pound, you think this kid might be able to like give you a run for your money.
I mean, Indiso has like 0 muscle mass, so yeah, like the orc's gonna be able to outdrink him.
And yeah, it's like sacrament is important. I'm not. You said they said I was learned. That's. And like stops and like seems kind of afraid of like disappointing you.
I'm sure it'll be. You'll be great. Come with me, and I'll like put my one arm over his shoulder, and like start walking him up the hill towards the soon to be sanctuary where we found the signs. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll like talk him up the whole way. Like, so we've found signs. I've done a little bit of research, but not very much because I was hoping, help. So there's a lot of fungus down here, and there's like this strange fluid exuding from the hewn. Well, you can see it yourself in just a second, and I'll sort of like walk him down into this like the place we were last time, which is just like the basement that's like carved out of the earth with the casks in it, and I want to see his reaction when we get down there. That's my whole goal.
I mean, he's not especially surprised. Like, he's been. This is why he's here. Like, it's not.
Okay.
If anything, he's surprised that you owned this place without knowing what the hell it was.
He won't be surprised about that for very long. So, is this the holy place then? Or...
And just sort of looks at you like you just drooled on yourself.
I probably did.
And like just the whole property, that's the limits, everything is. The wine, this place, it's all blessed. Did you not?
Mm.
Do you not? Can you not smell it?
I'll finish the glass, and I'll sort of look around the room, and I'll like throw it back on the bottle a bit. Okay. No. This is the first I'm hearing of this, but I see now why some of the things that were happening. And
Wait, what things were happening?
oh, you know the usual. Wine was turning out fine somehow. We'll talk about that later. It's a topic for another day. What I need from you, however, is an understanding of how to make this relationship with Pakun work in my favor, really, is what we're going with. Would you need like a team of people?
Oh man.
Are we talking about like observances? Do you need vestments? What can I do for you so that you might do for Pakun for me?
I'm trying to think how cynical and worldly this kid is now. Because you were just like, so should I make the blank check out to cash, or...
I'm very much writing checks I probably can't cash,
Yes.
so is the best part.
He thinks you're a bit of an idiot, but he actually legitimately likes this place. He likes you-ish. I don't know if he... That's a very good question. What would he want out of this situation? He wants this land, like, observed upon properly. He'd probably like more money, because that's just going to make everything more comfortable in this fucked up society he's been born into. Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, yes, I could use... I don't need many more hands, but the proper vestments... and, like, goes on to list, like, a softer bed, higher quality food.
Yes. All those arrangements can be made through Quail.
Good, yes. Better arrangements as well for Quail. I will need their assistance in this matter.
I'm sure they will be happy to help you.
Yeah.
Making their own life better. Absolutely. No, this is I believe this is the start of a beautiful friendship between you and me and Pakun. And feel free to draw help from any of the hands we have here, or if you know other experts and clergy such as yourself. Feel free
they
to
were all
bring them in.
murdered.
Interesting. Well, feel free to recruit from the existing workforce. Then, I will likely be consulting you on various rituals and things as they arise in the making of wines. Don't I have a question, but I don't want to sound,
You can ask me anything, boss.
sacrifices?
No. What's the word that you use for this?
Offerings.
Found to be heretical?
Oh, convenient.
No, it's the... I mean, at least one of them was my father.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Very sad. I'm very sad to hear that.
I'm honestly
yeah, so-
kind of thankful that Upper Argent has moved in. Their views are a little more lax on this sort of thing.
They do seem to be rather laissez-faire about the entire situation. Not like those heavy-handed Southerners.
He just like. I don't get you.
Anyway, sorry to hear about your father. Please contact Quail with all of your needs. And let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. I will check in with you within the week to see how progress is going.
Very good. What is it that you need me to do specifically?
If you could like increase yields by 25% or something like that, that'd be great.
He's like chokes on nothing. I'm sorry. What do you expect Pokken to help you with?
Wine was my impression.
I can
That's
25%. 1 in 4.
okay. So, question:
Yeah.
does the orc have that knowledge of numbers? I mean, it's fairly simple for like those of us that have been through high school,
This is like
right?
2018 thing. I don't know that Indiso has that sense of numbers.
Fair. That's fair. I can't technically read or write. So,
Right.
So
if you're like 1 in 4, or just like increased production. He's gonna be like, so his thing is that like you're asking a god to be like, yo, I could use more wine. Just gods don't work for free.
I'm fine with that. I
Okay.
just thought it's the god of wine.
He's going to
wine,
need
more god.
He's going
That's
to
better,
need
yes.
your. There will be a scene. He's like, I'll need some time to get some things together. I'll need some money to do so. I'll get Quail to help me with some of the rest of the organization because, as I understand it, you're a busy boss. But if you're going to be claiming responsibility for this, and there's I think he just says vineyard. If you're going to be claiming responsibility for this vineyard, there's going to be you're going to need to be present for this. If you truly wish to make a pact with Pokken, then you will need to be present for it.
Oh, I intend to be. Yes, please assume that I will be present and commune with Pakun when the opportunity arises.
Great. Good. Lovely. Okay.
We have a lot to talk about, me and Pakun. So I must continue seeing to the construction, but good meeting. I think we're on a good track here.
We can table this for now. How's your next Wednesday?
Exactly.
Great. You've got your action items. I've got my action items.
I don't mean to nitpick here, but is this really your plan?
I guess I am. Can you give him cash?
I have some cash.
Okay.
I have cash, I believe.
I wanted to sell like a mini scene. Like it doesn't have to be like a thing, anyways. But I wanted to get like Indiso signed up with the Merchants Guild,
Okay.
and I assume that I was gonna like I have funds or whatever, like just to spare. So I figured I'd give you a small one for that to buy loyalty.
That's right. Do I need to wear like a racing jacket with your name on the back? Like, what's the deal here?
But there just might be some support later on when called upon.
I already poisoned royalty for you. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're already in that.
Maybe one wasn't enough.
No, this is more just a way of offering you more resources to play with.
I appreciate that. I could use them. I'm pretty beat up resource-wise, actually.
So yeah, Quail's gonna walk in at this point, I suppose. Be like, boss? Oh, hey, Moose.
Yeah.
Moose is like, Moose
yes,
just does the up nod.
Yes, Quail, Moose will be operating our new Pacoon Worship Division here at Two Tusks. You are to aid him in whatever he needs for that.
I imagine Quail has, quite frankly, a remarkable poker face.
Oh yes,
Like
yes.
B9 poker face wise or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like, sure, whatever you say, boss. You might want to read this, and there's the missive from Magnus.
Okay. I will pretend to read it.
Oh, right. Quail notices you struggling. Or maybe there's just a messenger, because Magnus probably wouldn't send you a letter
Yeah.
to an illiterate
Or
person.
maybe Magnus would, to just remind you your place. Why
That
you
was
need
also
money.
possible, right? Like that's definitely. I could definitely see Magnus pulling that. Like actively undermining me in front of my employees, just to make sure I remember who's actually boss here.
So, I mean, what would you have sent, Magnus?
Maybe it would probably be something along the lines of,
Would you have sent a messenger or just
a message.
or a letter?
It would probably be what's his face?
Oh, Vigo.
Vigo, yeah, because it's probably something in the lines of land.
Okay.
That's what the fund is going to take whatever shape as.
Okay.
So Vigo would be there as a messenger. There probably would be some sort of written missive from me.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I will take the handoff from Quail.
There is
like,
a
slap. Sorry.
there's a very uncomfortable looking 20-something standing in the field and looking very uncomfortable because this is not the city. B, probably fretting about the state of his boots because mud and presumably some kind of fertilizer.
Yes, and yeah, all sorts of stuff around here. And
This-
the ghosts just go wherever too.
Yeah, this is a character that absolutely has finery and not clothing.
Nice. I'm going to walk up to him.
Yep.
Excellent. You
Vigo,
are?
Vigo Meister Indiso. I come from Meister Luciano.
Excellent. And I will slap him. Sort of I'll do the overhand hug, slap on the back thing with my just down in a hole arms and hands. Right?
Yeah, well, and Moose was probably showing you some of the fungus and getting right in there, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'll so you can sort of see me do this, with the camera angle. It's yes, please, let's have a powwow or a talk in my offices. Would you like a drink?
Yes, that would be lovely. Do you have any coffee?
That's an excellent question.
You're in a vineyard.
I don't. No one here. No one. I don't think anyone drinks coffee, but we do have something that will wake you up. So, and I'll walk him into the office, and I'll be like, "Grappa,
Great.
would you like some engine cleaner?"
Yeah. So, do you get him smashed?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it's up to him how much he drinks, right? I'm not gonna stop serving him.
Okay.
I don't do that. But, I'll have the conversation with him, and
Sure.
he drinks. If he wants to keep drinking, he can keep drinking.
Well, is the message you should join the Merchants Guild, or is the message Luciano would like a word?
No, it's definitely I remembered our conversation about the land that I promised you. This is consider this a welcoming gift from the newly formed Merchants Guild, which we also extend patronage in this enterprise. Expect further reward to come from it.
And so, yeah, Vigo's speech starts to get a little slurry at the end. He's patronage, but otherwise,
Oh. Well, I'll drink to that, and I'll just keep drinking.
yeah.
No, excellent. Where do I sign? It's not like I was having financial difficulties on my own, but an influx of money never hurts.
Absolutely, and he like looks around at the.
We like to keep it rustic here for appearances. It's a brand thing, really.
Are you trying to save face by lying?
Sure I am. That is definitely happening right now. Yes.
Great.
Oh.
How good are you? So, what's the role here, Zach?
I think it's falsehood.
Good.
I think it's falsehood.
Are you
I don't even
currently
know.
taxed? You aren't currently taxed. No.
I'm not. No, I am. We had a thing where I am like the local opinion of me is down because we like sort of poisoned some people accidentally.
Yes.
We sort of poisoned some people accidentally.
Right.
So my actual resources are fairly healthy.
Okay. So I was gonna say like maybe you get the tax penalty because just like you aren't actually maintaining the place properly, but falsehood. It's going to be with the rest of the Fs, which is proximate to doctrine. Falconry, falsehood. Falsehood is barefaced lying. It is a skill based on your will. You are learning falsehood. Good. The base obstacle for falsehood is always the will of the character you are deceiving. Vigo has a will of 3.
Okay. Is 4 versus 3 a difficult test?
I don't know if it's. I think this might be. Roll the thing and we'll see what it comes out with. Because beginner's luck tests are weird.
Well, I have falsehood.
You do?
Yeah. I'm pretty good at falsehood, actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, 4-3 is difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom.
Got there.
Nailed it.
Yeah, he's like, oh yes, I especially like what you've done with the cobwebs. Those look rather real.
Well, I have a cobweb guy, actually. I could introduce you to him if that's a thing that you're into.
Would you?
It's all the rage down south with the naturalistic.
You know, where 80% of the population died.
Yeah.
Great.
The naturalistic ruination look. Super in this year.
Good. So, here's what he's thinking. I can hire a cobweb guy and just, like, cobweb the shit out of my, like, rivals' properties, and then they'll tank in value.
Yes.
It's a shame you don't actually have a cobweb guy.
I could come up... Depending on how much he's willing to pay, we could probably come up with a cobweb guy.
Yes.
Just saying. But yeah, I will absolutely sign on whatever dotted line he points to.
Yep.
Give my verbal agreement to join the Merchants Guild.
Yeah, is your sign just an X, I'm guessing?
No, my sign is like an incomprehensible series of squiggles.
Okay.
That I think looks like a signature.
Great. Do you want to open right?
You're goddamn right I do.
Drunkard, drunken, trait list, vile poisoner,
Right.
tunnel wise, waiting tables, really?
Waiting tables. Well, because it's a job thing, right?
Oh, okay. A
So it's
great
the thing you're
skill
gonna be
for
doing for-
replenishing tax resources. I also like the king's table is ob 4 and the queen's table is ob 5.
Uh-huh.
Right. So it's perception and agility, and your name is ob 1.
Okay. Input modifiers, no modifiers.
1 sec. Just do.
Okay, so that's awesome. I did not. Here.
Yeah, that's what the little checkbox there is for.
No modifiers, no Artha. Ob 1.
Mm-hmm. I really hope you
Nailed.
fail this. Like, what would I like? Okay, you successfully write your name.
When I accidentally forge someone else's signature.
Yeah, you're
Do I
just
sign someone else up for the Merchants Guild?
yes. Congratulations, Fusilieri is now like the proud owner of the the 2 point fund or whatever.
God, that would be the worst.
No, I probably would have just made your taxes more interesting or something. Okay, so what fund are you giving Meister de Lovino?
Yeah, I think it would just be a 2 fund, like just some rich vineyard land that I had acquired.
Oh, nice.
And, you know,
Nice.
I figured goes with his line of
Oh,
business.
dude, I can send Moose over to bless it properly. I
It's
have a
probably
team now.
It's probably just your neighbor. I just bought his property,
Expanding.
and now you own his vineyard too.
Are there any strings attached to this?
Um,
The threat that he could buy it back out from under me if I get like
Right.
easily, like just
I think right now this is just pure carrot for now.
Okay.
so I have a how much fund?
It's a 2 point fund.
Okay. I'll make a note of that. So I would obviously Vigo's free to leave whenever. I will give him sauce until he does. I'm pretty happy with how today went. I don't know, it's like 45 whole minutes of work.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be going fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I might take a nap actually.
I think that one cash die has been reallocated via Quail to
That's totally reasonable.
Moose.
That is totally reasonable. Yes.
And yeah, Moose and Quail are now eating Moose and Quail. No, that
Moose
would be
and Quail.
Moose and Quail, the buddy cop show coming to WB this fall.
Okay. Yeah, I think that seems like scene to me.
Yeah.
We'll like escort Vigo out. I'll send him with a bottle. I'll send him with a bottle of something that's reasonably high quality. Maybe the good stuff. Maybe I send the good stuff with him to report back in.
Who says bad things happen to bad people? Cool.
All right. That all sounds great.
God.
Things are coming up in DSO.
Everything's coming up in DSO. All right. God.
Is Indeed so believable? Shit. Couldn't
It's
make
really
it happen.
indecent. Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah.
If you were drunk in public, you could be charged for public indecency.
Oh. I mean, I just do that all the time. I mean that's where the name came from, right? Like this is old.
I had to fight not to say punk and drublic
Oh. Mm-hmm.
because that was high school for me. Was listening to NoFX. So, Magnus, do you have a scene that you want to argue for, or something you'd like to see?
So I kind of want to explore Magnus trying to get into high society.
Okay.
And as a representative of this new Merchants Guild, and try to basically making connections with maybe some people that have maybe more power and less wealth, and I want to balance things out a little.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So maybe you might attend an event at the palace, or maybe
I think it's going to be like a circles test to like open
Yeah,
that
yeah.
door.
Exactly.
And then one of the things that this might look like longer term is like getting an affiliation, buying into a new affiliation.
Okay.
Yeah. During the course of the game, a situation may arise where a character has the opportunity to affiliate themselves with a new organization. A mercenary might get knighted, a noble might join the clergy, or a sorcerer might gather together bands of thugs to do their bidding.
Oh, I need thugs too. Okay, that's later though.
Yeah, like this goes sour, and you're like, cool. time for protection rackets.
Yeah. I gotta go full mafia after that.
Okay. So circles roll. You're looking for a friend in the nobles, or like an invite into court?
Yeah, looking for more of a person contact as opposed to just.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably not even someone that swings at Mike's level. It might be someone still lower.
That's
But-
pretty low, given that Mike's like the disfavored daughter.
Okay. That's true.
If you can make it all the way down there, you got to dig a little bit.
Buy a new fangled barrel scraper to really get at the bottom there.
Yeah, okay.
God, the vineyard you have acquired, being the third tusk, is especially rude. Okay.
Pretty happy with that. It's gonna be great.
Okay, so this is probably an uncommon occupation. Someone of a higher rank, station, or class. And you said you're looking for someone who's money hungry.
Probably, yeah. Someone who I can buy easily.
So here's another thing that I've just realized.
Okay.
You do actually know this person already. Her name is Margreta de Fabry. She's very broke.
So broke, I've been avoiding the question of where do I live.
She's homeless, heavily armed, and technically noble.
I'm imagining because, like, the noble thing, like, there is a room in the castle which is yours functionally via, like, this is a society that believes in socialism for the rich.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a noble's dorm.
Functionally.
It's the disfavored daughter's room. Right?
Essentially, right? Like, they are absolutely segregated by gender. Yeah. So, I mean, either we can have this scene where you're just like, Margreta, you have to take me to court one of these days, or we can find someone else.
Ooh.
I'm fine helping fund Mike too, so
Okay. So do we want to do the Mike tortures a dwarf scene before we do the Adam makes a new friend scene? Buys a new
I
friend?
mean, that's a perfect dovetail, right?
Right.
Adam comes in and I'm wiping off my hands. Yeah, I'm up for some aggressive questioning.
Okay. Okay. So the room in which it's Timothy Cartswallop? Timothy Cartswallop. Excellent. So the room in which the eldest Cartswallop son, the heir of the Cartswallopery fortune, is held, is a dingy cell. There's no external window. I think there's a candle guttering in a corner sort of thing, but not much in the way of light. And it's functionally just like a few wooden slats hanging off of a wall, or maybe it's some hay in the corner, and a bucket for relieving oneself. And a few trays of food that have been probably increasingly picked over. It's been a few days. This is fucking bleak. That was
I knock.
that was fun to put through my brain. So what? Who the fuck?
Well,
And-
I didn't want to catch you at a bad time. I thought should make sure you were ready to accept visitors.
I don't see that I have much choice in the matter, you piece of shit.
Oh, you always have a choice. Really, it's a matter of you making the right decisions to exercise that choice.
I would like to leave if I have this choice.
Of course, of course. You just have to answer a few questions, and we'll be happy to let you go.
Of course. So I'm not actually free to leave. You may as well open the door and talk to me face to face, you sack of presumably human garbage. Or sack of presumably human refuse. There we go.
Yes, I open the door,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to open with a is it a soothing platitude or an ugly truth? I'm trying to decide which way is a good way to go. How many soothing platitudes do I need to complete? Is it all 10 of them before it opens?
No, you need 4 more. Because it's the 6 in the little top right bubble is how many you need, and then you know the thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with honey before moving on to vinegar. So my statement will be, I'm terribly sorry. This is not of my doing, or the accommodations would have been much nicer. I would have expected them to house someone of your blood and noble bearing in a
so right now,
accommodations are suitable.
Right now, this feels like falsehood. This feels like falsehood more than it feels like a soothing platitude. A soothing platitude is like, don't worry, it'll be okay.
Right.
I want to use your blood to do a thing. Also not terribly soothing.
Right. Like a soothing...
I wasn't...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, it'll all be over soon. We'll reunite you with your family. There's nothing untoward will happen to you.
Okay. So
there's
nothing
a
untoward will
cupcake
happen
inside.
to you. Like, I don't know.
Is also falsehood?
Yeah. Like soothing platitudes, with words that say everything but compliment nothing. Oh, say nothing but compliment everything. So it's like, don't worry, like, as soon as I'm done, like, that's still falsehood. It's like, yeah, don't worry, this will be fine.
Also falsehood.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not soothing truthhood. But it's... Here are.
It wasn't me who did this. You know, there are a lot of wheels that move around. You know, and it's, and frankly, I think you've been mistreated.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
So you're opening with good cop.
Right.
Okay.
Would you like a donut? Oh, you know what? I will bring them food as well.
Okay, that'll help.
Yeah, like and nothing like fancy, but like
nicer than the gruel they've been served.
Right, bread. Right.
Water that's actually clean.
Water that's mostly water.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll get you definitely like probably 2 dice of advantage. Honestly, this is a person who wants to hear things are okay.
Yeah.
I still think they have a will such that you can't hit this, but we'll see.
All right, what's the modifier that I need to write here?
So the ob is going to be 4, and you get 2 extra dice. So you can make this with fate.
Cannot.
Well, he tries.
Not with no 6s.
Right. That was
but
like, yeah.
I get a pip in that, so I'm happy.
He grabs the food. He grabs the bread and like eats it sufficiently quick that you, being a knowledgeable survivalist, know that eating food that much richer than he's used to that quickly, he's going to vomit it up in a couple hours.
Perfect.
Says that's what the one they sent yesterday said. She also left empty-handed.
Really? Well, I reach. So I I have a chair like brought with me so I can sit down, as is fitting for my station.
I think the door's open and there's just like a burly guard behind you.
Yes. It's like, first of all, it's my lady, and you'll refer to me as such if you want to continue breathing. But in the meantime, let's talk about what empty-handed means and why I think that I'm more likely to be successful. And I'll put I'll wave the burly person forward, and he'll put like a table next to me, and I'll put it like, those big hooks they use, not for stitching, but for sewing leather together.
Okay, sure.
Like the big metal hooks that you have to use because leather is really unpleasant to cut through. And a thick spool of rough thread.
You can't kill me.
Mm.
And specifically leaves off the comma your lady there. Like, you can't kill me. Scarier people than you demand my life. I'm a hostage. If they wanted me dead, I'd be in a ditch with the late Mr. Smith.
Oh, I regret to inform you that everyone believes that you're dead already.
I mean, you made a forgery and stole the ransom note.
No one is expecting you to come back from this, unless parts of you are to be found, perhaps in pies. We don't know.
That's an ugly truth.
Ooh.
That is exactly an ugly truth. Is no one is waiting for you. So ugly truth is the one talkie skill that is not opposed by will. I'm reading traits.
306.
Thank you. Ugly truth. I think this is an ugly truth about a complex political situation.
Okay. Can I fork in falsehood and intimidation?
Yes. Do you have intimidation?
Fuck, I have interrogation. All these INT words.
Interrogation is not quite the same, Mike.
To do. Fork in intimidation. Too. Yeah.
I love that you can fork falsehood into ugly truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know exactly what lie to add to the truth to make it cut deeper.
Right. Can I add a modifier because I actually did a thing that would make, I'm speaking with certainty as opposed to merely artifice?
Yeah. You'll
still
get an extra... Yeah. You get the advantage die for the having planted the letter.
So I'll take an advantage and one from falsehood for a modifier of 2.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else you'd like to fork in?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
I can never quite remember. What I really need to do is print out the description to everything, so I can have it next to me.
I don't want to play your character for you, but this feels like you asked. I'm going to get information out of you. I am here as an interrogator, so interrogation feels like it applies.
All right, then I will absolutely fork it in if I can.
Yeah.
All right, what's my ob?
4, because that was the thing for a complex political situation.
I failed a routine. I'll get a 6. I'll spend
1 unit of fate.
Yeah, 26 bang, right?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Got there.
6 fates and a routine ugly truth.
I think he's going to fail a steel test at you.
Interesting.
So you hit him. Hesitation is probably okay. Roll 4. My numlock is off. There we go. Yeah, he's going to sputter and like just that's not there's no way. They'd definitely be and just looking you in the eye and just like for 4 heartbeats sits there just sputtering and babbling like someone who's just had a lifeline cut.
Yeah.
Like, this is I don't know if you've ever seen anyone drown before, but Margreta is pretty sure this is what it looks like.
I think I open intimidation and do I fill those 4 heartbeats with something horrible?
Sure.
Yeah.
You should you could use more learning skills.
Yeah, and like it feels kind of like a duel of wits or whatever, right? Like where I'm using one of those card blocks to just fill time because
I mean, functionally, yeah, that's what you get is you get 4 heartbeats where he just sputters at you.
I believe intimidation is will.
I would assume so, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Tactics, spear, shrewd appraisal.
I can fork ugly truth then. Hooray.
I mean, that checks out.
Oh man, my shirt is covered in tacky. All
Intimidation is the communication of threat. That is poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm going to spend those heartbeats basically saying, you think that you've lived your life believing yourself to be untouchable, and yet here you are in squalor and desperation. You have your one chance here is to leave me with a good impression of your malleability and willingness to leave here or to have a good death.
So if you just want to style on him and functionally practice intimidation, that's cool. If you want to roll against him, it might go wrong in an interesting way, but that's up to you. Actually, I don't know that it can go wrong in an interesting way based on the actions one can take while hesitating. I was going to say he takes a fucking swing at you with that hook. If you failed the thing.
Nice.
I don't know if he can. I think he might be too afraid. Spending Eartha, Epiphany, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So yeah, are you just going to style on him for 4 rounds?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just going to body blows to make sure that they're softened up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think, like, unless you hit his will, which was 4, which is unlikely because you're learning the thing, he's probably not, like, can't hear you. And you're just making yourself feel better. And maybe making an ass of yourself in front of the card. But you're going to learn a bunch of intimidation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's the equivalent of it's the emotional equivalent of using the baseball bat wrapped in a towel so you don't cause any bruises, right?
Yeah.
It's that kind of scenario right now.
I'm gonna fork in ugly truth for that.
If you're learning, you can't.
Right.
Because it's not a skill yet.
Nope.
And my base obstacle is 4 still.
Yeah, and it'll double to 8.
Which is impossible for me to succeed at.
Yeah.
It's always fate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I could just throw fate at this and see what happens.
Forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible for me to roll 5 6s in a row.
Yeah.
It's just merely incredibly unlikely. I'm going to go ahead and roll 5 6s in a row.
Okay.
You really only need 4 6s.
Gah, just 1. Okay. Or 0. So I knocked my fate down to 5. Bink.
Okay. So, I mean, you can take that action 3 more times against him, if you would like.
Jesus.
Really?
He's hesitating for 4 heartbeats.
I am totally going to do that just to like...
Okay.
And I don't know if that sounds like dropping grenades into the ocean to level up in D&D, but it seems
This
Tell me if
seems
this
like
is-
this seems like something Margaret would do. And so what is it that you're telling him as he's basically not listening to you in stunned silence?
I mean, like, I'm not good at this yet, right? So it's like, it's probably like describing. Cause, do I actually have torture as a skill? I do not.
Yes. Oh
right?
no, you don't. You have interrogation though.
Right. And I'm not even very good at interrogation, am I?
You're not bad at it. You're probably better than the average bear.
Yeah, so like I don't really know a lot about torture, right? Or intimidation. This is just stuff that like I can read. So like I ran out and grabbed a book or something, and am trying my best to pretend to be like hard.
How to wound friends and influence people.
That's right. Like, the subtle art of the finger peeler or whatever, right?
Right. It's a real page turner.
That's right. And right. Comes with extra thick pages for easy turning for those calloused fingers. Yeah. So I probably am describing like, yeah, we're gonna like hurt you, but
like a lot.
yeah, and then like we'll like totally there'll be like a bucket of rats, and we'll set the bucket on fire, but like not all of the bucket, because like then the bucket would be on fire and like you'd be on fire, but like maybe the far end of the bucket somehow.
I love the idea that Lady Margareta apparently read Fantasy Medieval 1984.
Yeah.
So she read 984.
Oh, and then there's like the dwarven versions of torture, like we crush your fingers with stones, but like I don't get it, right? So it'd be like we crush parts of you with a block of stone. Or
yeah.
My favorite part about this scene is that Margaret is basically just like dumping her entire third grade slam battle notebook on this person.
Yeah. I also think once you're done, there is still a decent chance he's going to go for that hook.
Okay. I am. I don't know if I'm armed, but like I have firearms and swords and stuff.
I don't know that they. Would you have let them? You're a violent people. They would not have taken your weapons.
Yeah. And also, like, you're not gonna let. I'm little old innocent me. I have to be able to defend my honor, and
you did not convince the governess of your innocence.
Yeah, I know, but maybe the door guard.
Okay. Do you want to style on this dude for another 3 actions? Like, let's keep rolling them, because I think it's like if you want to keep rolling them. Okay. So yeah, paralyze some more whales with your wand of paralyzation, and I'll rowboat out in the ocean in D&D.
Well, there's my next is gonna be 0 successes.
Right. I'm hoping for like, yep. Got there. Okay. So yeah, it's the first one like.
But I'm 2/3 of the way to being an intimidator.
Yeah.
I love that this paints a visual picture of you running out of no gas.
Yeah, it's just like, and then we're gonna like hit you.
Yeah, and he's just. You have no idea. That might be it. He might insult you. Wonder if he can incense you. Or something. Or he might just go for the hook. Yeah, you see him come back into himself. And he's like, you have no... And then just stops. And you see his eyes go down to the hook. And he's going to go for it if you don't do something to stop him from doing that.
Well, I want to regain control of the situation here, despite the fact that I've ugly truthed him into stunned silence for heartbeats, for 4 heartbeats. Like,
and then just and then we're gonna hurt you, and it's gonna be unpleasant.
Right. Like I can interrogate. right? I just can't intimidate. Which is weird. Like, I don't. There's a fine line there. I'm not. Mike, the person, is not clear with, as opposed to Margareta, the character. So like if he attacks me with a hook, do I roll sword to parry or something?
I mean, you can say, like, I let him, like, so for him to get the hook, and if you want to, like, physically stop him, then it's going to be speed versus speed, and you're probably faster than him, but who knows how the dice fall.
Right.
If you tell him, like, that's a dumb idea, don't, then that's probably, like, some talkie skill. If you let him get the hook just so you can run him through, then that's probably sword versus, like, an untrained brawling check or something.
Yeah, like I think I'm gonna like.
What do you want out of this?
I want to pin his hand to the table with a dagger.
Okay.
Right? I want him to reach for the hook, and I want to stab his hand.
Okay.
Into the table.
You
That's
use a
my
sword
goal.
because you're better at swords than you are with knives.
Oh, is dagger and sword different things?
Just knife is a skill. Zach, you're
Can
muted.
Knives is its own skill. Yes.
But a dagger is a knife?
I think, yeah.
Yes.
I don't care to go that far deep.
Do you have like a
It's a
short
small sword.
Sword?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. What length does it become a oh god. My brain.
At
It's
what
a
point
main
does the
gouge,
table
which
stop?
I think technically is a
At what point
dagger.
is it a sword?
Yeah. So, you're rolling sword.
Yeah, it's parry.
This is-
Shit, okay.
This is probably opposed by his speed.
I would guess so, yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me anyway.
So one of your successes will count for 2 of his. And
I don't know what you mean by that. He has to get 2 more, or I have to get 2 more.
It's harder for him to avoid because he's unskilled in dodging swords.
yeah. So, like, you know when you're rolling Intimidate and you haven't learned it yet?
Yeah.
You're actually rolling your will skill. Or your will stat, sorry. And so when a stat opposes a skill, the stat is worth half as much.
Gotcha.
So he's going to be rolling his speed.
I don't really have anything to fork into here other than being somewhat prepared for this.
Sure. Yeah, you knew it was coming. He doesn't have a weapon. That's going to be plus a die easily.
All right. And then what's my obstacle? Or do I have 0?
You put in 0 and then
Well, fuck. I guess that doesn't matter.
yeah, he would have needed 4 successes on 3 dice. Do you say anything, or do you just like?
Like, I think I would have said don't. And then when he did, just... And this is where the interrogation begins, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Just-
Because we're past...
yeah. No,
Fronted,
he
right.
is screaming. I would be if this wasn't a podcast.
Yeah, so I say... I forgot this guy's name already.
He had. I don't know that you know it yet.
Right. So we've established that I am less good at scaring people with my words than I am at stabbing them with swords. And I would appreciate it now if you would answer my questions, because that is the most expedient way for you to be less stabbed. I don't know if that's ugly truth,
I mean,
or if we just want just like interrogation, right? Like I want,
Yeah.
I will. Now is the time for you to tell me everything.
and you can fork ugly truth into that because that feels applicable.
And, and my sword.
Just say, the sword in your hand is a pretty ugly truth right now. We
What's-
should inconvenient blade.
Yeah. Blades in the hand. I'm curious what his wound penalty is.
One day soon, I will be able to fork in intimidation and torture and ugly truth and soothing platitudes.
And
Just
revolution wise.
One of the things I really like about this game is, and it doesn't tell you it does this, right? Like, I built a character with a lot of skills that all sort of apply to these situations, right? Like, my character's fairly well rounded in this weird niche. So, like, all of it applies. I roll huge dice pools because it can.
When it
And-
comes time to Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I want to point out, so Bad Quill mentioned in chat, 4 life path characters get a lot of skills. I'm definitely not jealous. And then Zach's like, yeah, we're all opening at least 4 of their skills. Mike's on 7.
Yeah.
I'm on 1. So
Yeah.
I don't even know if I
Well,
can-
okay, so your skill is money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I may have misjudged the valuable skills of
Well,
a spy.
I think you also built a character like you got 4 life paths like the rest of us, but you're also trying to do a lot with them, right?
Well, because you want to be violent, but also talky, but also, like, sneaky, which is 3 sort of separate realms that you're, like... You've dipped a toe into each of them, and you definitely
Right.
tell the story of, like...
I made a clam.
Well, you're telling the story of a 23-year-old person who's lived a fucked up life and has probably a broken family. And yeah, I think this all fits Margaret. I think this is making her a richer character. Okay, so interrogation, ugly truth, advantage for sword through the hand.
Yeah.
And because he's wounded, his will is lower. Because that's how wounds work. They lower all your stats.
So do I take a modifier for that, or does it lower
It lowers the ob, which is better.
Okay. So I'm forking in 2, so my modifier is 2. What's my ob? 5?
3.
Oh, right, because it was 4 before.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Like, do I explode those? Like, do I get more for having more successes?
No, you get the thing.
Okay.
There's a few places where where degrees of success matter. Like, if you were using this interrogation to set up something else, then every additional success would just get you more dice on the next roll. But at this point, no, he is, like, defeated, wounded. The dude behind you is like, yo, this lady's hard. And yeah, I'll tell you anything. I'll sign anything you need, whatever you need. Although you aren't a torturer, so he's actually going to give you useful intelligence as opposed to just agreeing to whatever you demand.
Technically, the sword in the hand is not torture.
You didn't roll the torturer skill.
It's
Yeah.
enhanced interrogation,
It was physical dissuasion from violence.
but it's literally enhancing interrogation.
No, it's unenhancing interrogation.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
What's up?
No, I just got stuck on the phraseology of torture versus interrogation.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't stab him through the hand as a means of getting information out of him. I stabbed him through the hand as to stop him from doing something stupid, and now I'm asking him questions, which I
Yes.
guess are 2 separate things.
Yeah.
But I'm not twisting it, Zach, right?
At the same, well, I mean, and also interrogation and torture have 2 different, right?
Yeah.
Interrogation, you're actually looking for money. Torture gets them to tell you what you want them to tell you. So you do that in front of someone who will care what they tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's how you extract confessions from people.
Or you just get them to sign something. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm a witch. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm way sadder now than I was a minute ago when I was torturing this poor girl. No, I wasn't torturing.
I'm way better now than I was when I was like ruining this person's ability to use the hand for the.
I mean, this is a D&D-ish world. There could be magic.
There was one cleric before. Actually,
Yeah.
0.
We
He
have-
was a sorcerer.
We have yet to conclude. We know of the existence of one god, Mike. One, and it's the orcish god of wine and sacraments.
And endings.
Just take the hand.
Wow. This is a rich setting. I like it. Okay, so back to the thing. Right, so like I would like a number of things from this person, right?
Okay.
Like I need to know all this stuff, and I'm not even sure. Mike isn't even sure all the things that I need to know from this person.
Well, I mean, what's the one thing? Because I don't know how much you get out of this guy.
Like,
What's the top of your list?
what was... So the whole point of me going in here was to show them that...
That you're
Was
not
that
a
the-
fuck up, kind of.
Right. like that I was capable of doing stuff, and there wasn't anything specific that they wanted. I just said, "Oh, let me take a swing at him," and it's like, "Yeah, he's down."
I mean, if you want to be like he'll tell you anything and leave, then or like he'll tell you anything and then the governess will sit down and be like, okay, you're going to answer this question now. If you want to pass on your thing to her, that would be a good way to get in good with her.
And I just get the one question, right?
I mean, just you could probably get more out of him. I think putting the limit on one like gives it a nice dramatic tint, right?
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
You're muted, Zach.
The knife's like a motorcycle accelerator for the truth.
You're Dante in Devil May
Boy.
Cry 3, or Nero in Devil May Cry 3 had the motorcycle accelerator on his sword.
Or what? Not Kakataran. What's the other one? Corin Horn that built the lightsaber out of the
speeder handle.
Yeah,
We're nerds.
we're
Yeah.
super nerds, yo.
Okay.
That was a good game.
Okay. So what's the play, Mike? Do you take the question and like learn where some ledgers are, or whom to stab, or do you pass it on to the huntress governess lady?
I pass it on to the governess.
Okay.
And like I'm going to take the opportunity while she's there to like I want a secret of hers.
Okay. That's going to take some negotiation.
Okay. But like I think that's an okay place to end this scene if we want to jump over to Magnus for a bit, right?
Yep. Yeah, well, we're going to take a 5-minute break because it's been like 90 minutes. Anna Trueno. Yeah. We'll be right back in 5 minutes or less, or your pizza's free. We're not buying you a pizza. Bye.
It doesn't have to be a pizza.
We'll torture you to make us tell it.
Whoa! No! Zach, bad! We do that in cells. All right, and we're back. I'm still Andrew Otway. These people are still these people. We're still playing the Burning Wheel because it's a fun game. That's pretty cool, and that's the book, and it's backwards because I haven't changed my webcam yet. Hey, there you go. That's it the right way around, and very shiny. It's a very shiny book. It's also the right. Book. It's also the right size for like hanging onto and swinging with conviction about one's head while preaching one or more good words.
If you add the codex, it's an actual weapon. Like it's.
But are you bookwise?
Oh, I am.
And is there a difference between bookwise and bookswise?
Books plural? What?
We've already covered that I can't read, so it'd be very interesting. Books-wise.
You know a lot about books, but not how the fuck to read them. That's a valid thing. Maybe you operate a printing press.
I'm that dude in that Twilight Zone episode after the apocalypse, right?
But there was time now.
There was time now.
Spoilers for the Twilight Zone, that episode that everyone quotes all the time.
That came out
not
like
the William Shatner one, the other
ago.
one that everybody quotes all the time.
Listen, Zach.
It's on the wing.
Don't you be bringing science into my jokes.
There aren't very many pop culture references that are twice as old as me. That's one of them.
Is it still pop culture?
Yeah.
3 of us did the quote at the same time.
And the last one of us is preparing for their scene.
Yes, sorry, I was just reading dice rolling rules.
No worries.
So, I would like to sort of set the scene with Lady Margareta at the front porch of a rather exquisite mansion in the district that I currently own that's being populated by outside interests at exorbitant rates.
Sure.
And real quick, let's do this. Add in.
Are you buying a house?
Yes.
Okay.
We're currently signing papers with no difficulty whatsoever.
None. This fits comfortably into your projections expectations for the next quarter.
So, my Lady Margareta, a little bird told me that you were in search, or you've been searching for a place to call home. I just so happen to have this modest property available that I believe you would find has the most interesting neighbors that, I don't know, maybe one of your means might be able to take advantage of.
They don't have to collect taxes, do they?
He's asking you to fuck them.
But like with a quill, hopefully.
I believe they might have information that might prove useful, and if you have, the location, perhaps you can use it to your advantage. The only thing that I ask is that the merchant, you might have heard that we've formed a modest guild to protect the merchant class of this city, and I was hoping you could introduce me to someone in the court that might help me further my interests.
Introduce you to someone in court, huh?
Yes.
Sure, no problem.
Because Magnus, you don't have any noble life paths or like noble court life paths, so you actually can't circle those people.
Right. I don't have any.
Because you haven't met any of them.
I could meet my brother, but I don't think that's the plan that Magnus would do. Yeah, I mean, I have that guy, but I don't. in my head, the brothers don't quite work the same way.
No.
So yeah, so what this is that Magnus is offering a two die fund in exchange for, a circles connection inside the court that he can exploit.
I'm just curious how you got to 13 dice.
7 resources,
Yep.
3 die fund,
Yep.
2 die cash, and 1 die affiliation for business.
Okay, so the cash is spent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
You had 4, or you're down to 0?
I had 2 cash, but I just
I'm not worried about you making the future cash roll. You can manufacture. You can print money. You're a literal mint.
Yeah, okay, I have cash again.
Yeah.
I just I guess I didn't know to my banker that I needed a
Yeah, I just need a quick hundo.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a stack, right? It's a roll. Wow, that's quite generous of you, Magnus. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm happy to introduce you to. Oh, I know a dwarf or two that might be able to help you out.
Yeah,
You're not gonna make me roll falsehood, are you, Andrew?
Are you lying?
Do I actually know a dwarf that can help him?
That's a good point.
I like my point of contact right now is
You know Timothy,
Tim.
who can get you paper clips and candles.
All right, he knows where to
wanna-
find anything and
Do you want to
everything.
introduce me to your father?
He wouldn't help you here.
Isn't he a local?
Where's your father again?
He's not like local here.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Oh, you're from like out. I thought this was close to like a city state, or like this was the local capital. Is he out in the boonies?
I don't even know that. Like, well, if they overthrow this local region, right? Like that means, and my father was like in charge of the region.
Was he the actual power, like the actual ass on the throne?
That was deposed.
Yeah. Well, like,
No.
like they're figureheads now. Like they're being kept fed and drunk
I mean,
on
I would also
foreign
sorry.
capital.
Like more of a count
Okay.
level.
So I mean, he'd
Persons
probably
opposed to,
still be
like, a-
around court.
Or is he like ruling in exile?
Yeah.
The other option to not your father would just be for you to do the circles roll because you would probably have a much easier target than I would.
Well, I again, what are you looking for? Like, so, and they only disposed this one. It's only this one city.
So-
Right? It's
so
not the entire province, right?
They've occupied, like, it's a small province, I was imagining, like, because it was a
Okay.
special administration zone, which is why it's so weird legally, because they've occupied you, but you're not a province, so you don't have, like, your own jurisdiction, but this other group says you do, and it's a whole thing. And basically, behind the
then-
scenes, they're trying to put together paperwork to say, we own this.
Then my father was a count of the next county over.
Okay.
So
Next county over, like
so
however you-
Magnus's goal is to be able to talk to someone that can legitimize the Merchants Guild and seek title. I
Right,
say
but
bought
like,
title.
do you want legitimacy in the eyes of the usurpers or of the rightful?
No, I don't. Of the rightful owners of this land. In his
I mean,
mind.
I could totally send you to my father, but I don't know that I hate you that much. Right? It's kind of a dick move to be like, oh yeah, go talk to my dad. He hates me, right?
Yeah.
But like, you tell him that I sent you, and like you're not armed. I assume that it would go okay.
He'll only have you flogged, mostly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's probably some other way of. I mean, I don't think.
I'm sure that I can find somebody in the court.
Yeah.
I could put you in touch with the hunts, the old hunts mistress, or I could put you in touch with, like deposed locals, or I could put you in touch with a dignitary in my father's court.
I think it'd be fascinating for the huntsmistress, but I don't know if that would further Magnus's ambitions. But
She could have uses for your money.
yeah, I mean, I think we could have a good working arrangement. Sure, we'll say her.
Okay. Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable. And having a place where I can conduct my business outside of the scrying eye of the usurpers would be nice.
I love that it's the scrying eye because there are wizards who do that.
Remember our old game where scrying was the only means of long distance communication?
God, sending.
Yeah, scrolls ascending. Send more scrolls running low.
I'm also super curious how you're going to maintain this property with functioning. So you've got a 2-die fund. So I just threw that on your character sheet. It's below the resources thing. Which means you functionally have 4 resources to spend until you fail a roll. At which point it just eats into your fund.
Okay. And I assume that I would have to go back to
Hat in hand.
Magnus, right, in order to get more monies. Which is probably intended. So
Please, sir. I want some
if I
more.
have some more.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, that's the deal is struck. It's
You're basically buying a
pretty
circus
reasonable.
check.
Margareta, you're bribe wise. Does this trump any of the? Or are you yeah, I'll take this bribe.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Right, I'm not above taking a bribe, right? Money's money.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you now have a place to hang your guns.
Yeah. Gonna have to get some more.
Have you ever watched did I get you to watch Winona Earp?
It is on my list of things that I need to do.
Just because that seems like a thing that Margareta could draw inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's also sounds super up my alley.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Okay, so that was fairly frictionless. Magnus, you bought another player character.
I just assisted another player character in
Okay.
furthering their own goals. With only a few strings attached.
You feel like the demon in Needful Things.
Well, you cut out. What was that?
The Stephen King Needful Things. You feel like the demon from Needful Things, where there's whatever you want, whatever you think you want most in the world, he will get
Maybe
you.
you got it. Yeah.
Nice.
With the terms of caveat emptor. Okay.
So yeah, I guess my eventual goal here is I kind of want to scope this out too before I go into a meeting. But what is if I'm trying to buy like a 2D affiliation?
Yes.
Basically buying a title.
Yep.
How does that base roll end up looking?
Probably difficult.
I see it's base ob 5 for a 2D affiliation, but then they start adding in modifiers.
Right, because it's going to be where did that run off to? It is later than this. It is before this. These are fight skills. Do you have the page reference or no?
No, I have a cheat sheet.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the book.
Right. Oh, I already had the thing bookmarked. Good. Where did it wander off? There it is. Okay. So, buying into new affiliations. If a situation such arises, make a circles test using the appropriate occupation station disposition obstacles. If successful, The player may invest in this new opportunity in order to gain further dice when using their circles. Purchasing a 1 die is up 3, 2 die is up 5. The affiliation is to an organization that demands expensive clothes or fine foods like low nobility, add +1 ob. So it'll probably be ob 6 resources, but the circles is going to be the difficult thing. And it'll probably, like, I think we have to get there in the fiction. Like, you have to meet with the governess, make friends with her, and then you can just blow that 6 resources test out of the water.
This is the Huntress governess?
Yeah.
Do you have a hunting trip? Do you, like, buy a preserve and create, like, a hunter's... It's like a country club, but it's actually in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it, is, like, you tell Margreta, I'm putting together a hunting trip. You were going to bring the governess.
Oh, what if you just, like, swoop in on, like, lands that have been neglected by the laissez-faire dwarvish folks when they came down? You're like, I will now manage and preserve these.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea.
Cool.
Now, because my background's in education, like, I will buy all of the deer and iPod. Just waiting for you, like, to Bill and Melinda Gates this thing right into the ground.
God. Okay. So is that the... Do you request that of Margreta? Like, is that a thing that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Magnus will put like some sort of event or some sort of not like it's. I feel like it's one of those, fundraiser dinners, but it's actually like in a event out on the
A walkabout.
Well, like,
yeah.
the people are violent, prideful, and traditionalist, so it's absolutely like you go out, you murder some wild animals, you bring them back, and, like, you eat what you kill.
There was probably a festival or something, like some sort of yearly hunt that used to be held, but has like it kind of was out of favor for a while, but he brings it back.
It's the festival of, like, breaking in the new rifles. Right? Like, it's you go do the, like, field test of a bunch of new rifles.
Yeah, that sounds...
Or long guns, not rifles, because that implies rifling, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's...
Oh. I still like the idea that, like, all of their projectiles are, like, finned. To, like, make up for the fact that they don't have rifling. We're too proud to rifle, so we had to build special bullets.
Well, and, like, I think the Upper Argent folk have rifles. I think we discussed that they actually have technology that progresses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like Saint Hackenbush Day, and it's, you break in the arquebuses. Okay. I don't know if that's yet. Like, you probably have to do a bunch of organization to get to that point.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to do that scene now? Like,
I think so. I think this will actually be a side of the guild.
okay.
Where I'm working with some of the founding members to put this together, since this is a larger event, and I'm trying to get them on board with, if the guild is going to be seen as a legitimate power in this land, we need to have titles. We need to be, landed nobles, effectively.
So Eladrienne's going to play her EXO with some quantity of authority card. And because we're bringing back old traditions, Meister, I think it would be an excellent olive branch to to the elven community if, in addition, and as a part and a small part of functionally Arquebus Day, we also observed this like ancient elven ritual that happened around the same time. Like it's there's some like elven word. It's Woodsorrow's Eve. Like it's named after her, or she's named after it, and it's like the festival of the leaves dying off of the trees.
Okay. I doubt Magnus is thrilled by this, but I don't think he's going to.
That was so good. Okay.
I think he will let her flex on this one without.
Okay. Without opposition.
Yeah, I think he might try to minimize
Sure.
how much of the preparations go towards that, but he will not squash it
Okay.
or try to fight it.
Eladrian will remember this.
I do enjoy that the elves are like the normal NORML people that like are glomming on to literally whatever's happening right now. It's like, this is also an elven thing. We're making this an elven thing.
Well, and like part of it is like this is like midsummer, so it's the leaves aren't really turning yet, but it's yeah. It's just nice to have a day, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
Elves have no summer holidays. Elven holidays actually only come around once in a decade cycle. Because they're so long-lived.
Woodsorrow's Eve Festival concurrent with Arquebus Day. I love that it like Arquebus Day just feels like it's a thing. Like the humans couldn't be fucked to come up with a better name for it.
Well,
Yeah.
it has like an official name, right? But no one remembers that. It's just Arquebus Day.
Yeah. Or like in BC, it's the BC Civic. It's BC Day for the civic holiday in August.
Well, like in Philadelphia, the Polish Pride Day, they have a Polish Pride Parade,
Yep.
and they named it after a fake person.
Good.
It's a person who doesn't exist because they just needed a Polish-sounding name to like put on the flyers, right? So this is sort of the same thing, right? Like,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're putting together an Arquebus Day.
And Magnus is obviously going to go hard on getting the best deal for all of this stuff. Like he's haggling the shit out of these.
Okay. So is that your primary action? Is you're going to haggle a bunch of party supplies functionally?
Basically, yeah. That's going to be.
Okay. Let's see. I think probably the most important thing to get right on Arquebus Day are the guns.
Right.
You do know one of the people who's fairly influential in the gun trade, although you met their daughter. So, I mean, do we want to do a scene where you're negotiating with the Lord Father Fusilieri?
We could do something with it. I mean, I don't. Has his family wanted to or had any talks with the Merchants Guild yet?
Maybe this is the opening salvo.
Yeah, it's a party, man. Bringing everybody in.
Yeah.
It's a block party. There's guns. It's gonna be awesome.
Right.
It's like the 4th of July for our town.
It really is, right?
Blowing shit up outside of town.
If any fictional place ever had a 4th of July, it's Thundering Valley.
Well,
Yep.
here's the other thing is, it's the city people who are violent. The people out in the woods, out in the villages, are resilient.
So I imagine what the 4th of July, like the traditional 4th of July celebration used to be, is essentially the city shelling the boonies.
Well, they put up like it's like Guy Fawkes Day meets the 4th of July. You'd go stand up a bunch of effigies out in a field somewhere and then train the artillery on them.
Yeah, and you get everybody good and sauced at a time. Like everybody's celebratory drinking from noon, and then at like dusk, they start firing what's the word, tracer rounds into like tracer artillery into the woods around. So it has to be done in like high summer or winter.
So more stuff can burn in high summer?
Well, sorry, maybe not high summer, like late spring, right?
Right after the rains.
Yeah. Like whenever the rainy season is here, you gotta time your Arvicus Day for that day.
This is a very fucked up place, and I like it. I hate the people here, but I like what we're doing.
It just keeps becoming more and more like dirt fantasy Springfield, like over and over and over again, like low fantasy, weird characters, strange events that everyone is like secrets that everyone's in on somehow. It's great.
Well, and like, I don't think the occupiers have ever celebrated Arquebus Day before.
This also probably has some sort of spiritual connotation too, with the weapon spirits being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
These are like giving birth to the next generation.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of it. Yeah, it's like Arquebus' birthday.
I was gonna say, this is every gun's birthday.
They get baptized in like the weapon oils.
Yeah.
Every gun's birthday.
There's incense. There's incense. There's wine, and there's guns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think those are the three things that you get to.
Like heavy with that smell of gunpowder that you get with that, like.
Well, and like just the off-gassing of metal too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the like there's the build-up. Like you smell the guns, and then you smell the incense, and then you smell the gunpowder. Like there's this sort of progression to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this scene is.
And the
getting
ingress of
the
soul.
ritual incensed gunpowder from Lord, or is he Lord or Meister Fusillade?
Fusillary.
Fusillary. So yeah,
And
I think that's
Lord.
that's
He's absolutely
Lord.
a noble.
Lord Fusillary. Yeah.
Is it Guy Fusillary?
No, it is not. Also, apparently Guy Fieri just like anytime there's like a crisis in America, like goes there and just hands out a fuck shit of free food.
Yeah, no, like Guy Fieri is actually like a really solid human, and I will hear no argument or dissing of him.
The bowling shirt thing for Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives reportedly started because he showed up the first day just wearing one, and the costume designer was like, I understand what I have to work with. And that just became the thing.
That's amazing.
I know now what I must do.
Yeah.
He doesn't even like them. He hates bowling shirts. He doesn't wear
That's
them.
amazing to me.
It's just,
So,
yeah.
I watched the episode of The Hot Ones with Guy Fieri on recently. It was a pretty good one.
He's like,
Nice.
yeah, less of a, like, he is less like God spilled a human than everyone thinks.
Yeah, no, like a lot of the hate Guy Fieri catches is very, as far as I can tell. Like he looks like what you expect a lower class person to think is a cool person, and so like people look at him weird because of
Adam,
it.
did you eat at Guy Fieri's Vegas Kitchen and Bar in the Las Vegas Strip?
I saw it, but I did not go in and eat there. I was trying to
drink more.
Yeah, just drinking too much now.
He also has my most favorite GIF in the world.
So you meet this guy, Fusillary, Lord Fusillary. His daughter is
Bella. So just for reference, if there's like a party and wine and like people drinking wine, I'm around.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this
Probably.
is. I imagine it's like. Because I did mention previously that there's probably a time skip coming up. So I imagine it's going to be like the end of this session, maybe part of the next one, and then we jump forward a few months. And like we can cut into like construction is well underway. Margreta somehow has to pay for her house. And like Magnus is throwing a party. And we'll probably do the lifestyle maintenance roles at that point as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm roughly estimating. I was estimating this session. It's probably going to look like the next one. But yeah, let's get some gunpowder out of Fusilieri. So it's meets you in like a room on the first floor. When you actually, let's do the circles roll
Oof, okay.
to see what kind of mood they're in.
I've had so much luck with circle rolls.
Listen, you have to fail some kind of roll. Think one die to start with. Uncommon occupation. No, this is a person. We know this person exists. It's not especially uncommon. But the higher station rank or class, absolutely.
The nice thing about circles rolls is you can fail them and the person still exists and talks to you.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just hate you.
it's the failure is either they hate you or they don't have time for you right now, and possibly they also hate you.
So we're saying 3 then, yes.
It might go up to 4. Just because this person is very good at what they do. I think we're up to 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm...
Would you like to spend persona?
No, we'll see where this lies.
Okay.
I'm working in whatever I can't remember if it's reputation or affiliation that you can work in with these.
I think it's
but...
both.
Oh, both?
Yeah, it's circles plus reputations plus affiliations against the obstacle.
So you're still going to be rolling like a dozen dice.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be, what, you said 4 base ob?
Yep. It's your 7 on 4. That's a good shot.
Yeah.
Not amazing.
Nice.
Got
That
there.
works. Still, unfortunately, not a hit, but that's fine. Okay.
I mean, if
so-
you'd not used one of your 2 things, then that would have been a
Yeah.
think. It's good to meet you, Mr. Luciano. I understand you spoke with Bella just recently.
Yes, Lord Fusilari. You might have heard that we seek to restore the Merchants Guild to Thundering Valley.
And had some success with that, as I understand. And like,
Indeed, but we sought to, first to do business with your most esteemed family in doing so. But unfortunately, your daughter was very busy with her studies at the time and didn't see fit to join in at the.
she is.
What was his?
Pardon?
Sorry, what was his first name again?
I don't know if we've defined it yet. He's
Okay, I'll just
honestly, he's probably Lord Fusilari every time you address him.
Okay, that's fine.
And she's like the Lady Fusilari. Like you don't call her Bella.
Yeah.
He does, but
No.
But yeah, he yes, she is quite the polymath. I don't know that she's ever met a problem she hasn't tried to solve 3 different ways. But I understand you're looking to put together a little Arquebus Day celebration, and I must say, I knew I had a good feeling about you, and like, would you like anything to drink? You there? Coffee, tea, brandy?
It's probably coffee time, sure. So yeah, coffee would be lovely.
Excellent. 2 cappuccinos or something like.
Yeah, something pretentious.
Yeah. And he's like, and use the good beans for God's sake this time. My apologies. You must know how it is overseeing, well, people like
Indeed.
you.
People like me. we can be so trying at times. I understand, sir. My lord. Uh, Indeed, you did hear right that the Merchant Guild is trying to, and come out with a bang, if you will.
Oh.
We want to bring back the glory that was Archivist Day, but to do that properly, we do need, I don't know if you want to call it like the holy gunpowder incense or whatever you want to call it. We do need
It's probably
What?
it's like the sacramental gunpowder or something.
the
Yeah.
sacramental gunpowder. We do require the sacramental gunpowder, which we could only see fit to get from your family.
We do have the best in town, it's true. And like that might be true, maybe. Like
Yeah.
and it has been some time since we've had to mix it. But I'm sure we can come to some kind of terms. You seem a reasonable fellow.
Indeed, and I don't know where I was going to go with that. And yeah, I do appreciate that. And I hope we can come to most congenial terms.
I love how you're willing to debase yourself. Like he's just been poking you
Yeah.
and you're just like, I am very okay with this.
Gotta know your place, right?
Yeah. No. This is the noble class that maybe Magnus aspires to be one day, but he's
Not yet.
not yet. The Lord can still have him killed.
Mm-hmm. And how. Which like that feels like it just says a lot about Magnus. Anyways, yeah, so coffee arrives. He takes a sip.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he takes a sip before you get yours. Like
Okay.
the servant functionally comes to him and says like, and he like checks the nose, takes a sip, swishes it around his mouth, and he's like, okay, you didn't fuck up this time. Basically, to the guy, sets the cup down and then lets him serve you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine Magnus is much less refined about drinking the coffee than.
Oh yeah. When it comes to things of a certain scent and certain personality, it's important to ensure that it's done correctly, and there's really no substitute for quality. And he's talking about the coffee, but he's not talking about the coffee.
Right.
I think he's functionally trying to he's trying to do some sort of thing to make the haggling roll easier. And I'm not sure what he's doing to set up that action, but it's probably opposed by your will. It might just be persuasion. I think it's just persuasion. Yeah, okay. What's your will? He's
Or
not got a real shot at this. Doing persuade, I think he's functioning it forking in some kind of scent wise or something, because he deals a lot with things that you smell, like saltpeter,
Okay.
sulfur, gunpowder, incense, coffee. That's what he's forking in here. I think he's rolling 6 dice against your will. You have a will of 4. He's not exactly favored to win here.
Yeah. And
If he
does he have
ties,
fate points?
I don't think this guy has fate points. But if he ties your will, he gets no extra dice on haggle. If he beats 4, then he gets. So
Okay.
at best he can get 2 extra dice here. And if he fails, he makes it easier for you.
ooh, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think your coffee just tastes off.
Yeah, and I think Magnus it would be very differential when it comes to respecting the title.
Mhm.
But when you start talking business to him, I don't think he takes it as he doesn't. the merchant pride kicks in.
Sure.
He's much less inclined to, well, indeed, the our fine scent can indicate good commodities or good product. In the end, it doesn't matter what it tastes like. It smells like when it just doesn't taste very good in the end.
And like, yeah, you've been like sufficiently polite, and he just, well, I suppose what they say is true. There is no accounting for taste. To business. He has his pride too.
Yeah.
So he's to business then, and like sets the coffee aside, and it just does. No one looks at their coffee for the rest of the scene, right? Like it's
Right.
He brought in a prop, it bombed. Yeah. And so he's to business then, and like, I was expecting sort of this price, and you can only really get the best stuff from me, and
well, I do agree that you do have fine quality. What do we call it again? Shit, whatever, the sacrificial gunpowder. The sacramental gunpowder, but these days, it's been a long time since you've made it. We don't know. We'd have to verify the quality of the product, and perhaps see if anybody has been making in the meantime. Perhaps refine it to a higher quality.
Oh, I assure you, no one can aspire to the quality that we are able to produce. And if you need it in quantity, one way or another, the reagents will come out of my hole in the ground.
Well, I do agree that you have a lovely hole in the ground. I don't think anyone else. The Merchants Guild is the one that's putting on these facilities, and we are the ones interested in purchasing it, I assure you. And I assure you we will be the only ones purchasing it.
Well, I have demand. Or you have demand, and I have supply. Let's throw some dice to see how this goes.
Okay. So yeah, rolling haggling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fork the usuals, merchant wise and commodity wise.
Yep.
I'm also forking persuasion and appraisal.
Cool. And you get 2 extra dice because he fucked persuading you so hard.
Okay.
He's going to be haggling. He's going to fork in scent-wise again. I think he's also merchant-wise and commodities-wise because he's functionally a magnate who is like also does noble stuff. He's older than you. He's got a few more life paths.
Sure.
So I don't think he's coming close to you, but I think he's probably hitting 7 dice.
That's plenty.
Yeah. No, it's there's danger here. So this is opposed. Ooh. Oh, he came close.
He did, yes.
He rolled very well for 7 dice.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Don't think he has fate, but maybe next time. So yeah, it's what you say about functionally like we're the only ones buying it. Like that's a point he can't answer. Like yeah, we've got the demand, but like it's not like gunpowder itself's hard to come across, and like I don't know if Magnus remembers too many Arquebus days. Like they probably fell out of favor like a decade or longer ago.
Yeah.
So,
and people are not going to care if it's the highest quality,
or if like it's just gunpowder again. Like maybe they forgot that it smells like incense too.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get him. He makes a point. You counter, jab, jab, cross, and he's well.
Oh wait, 6 versus 5 is a difficult, isn't it?
Yes.
That's how that works, right?
Push button for test difficulty. 6 versus 5 is difficult.
Excellent. I finally got a pip on haggling.
Yes. And I have yet to level up any of my skills.
Well, I don't know that. Yeah, no, Adam just got a difficult pip, not a level.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, looking at my skills, I don't have much that's really close. Maybe persuasion. I'm 2 pips away from leveling up persuasion.
You just need to write a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I need to do that too. Writing would be the easier one, yeah.
Yeah.
Start publishing my memoirs. Oh, that's gonna be terrible.
But like, think of how much you can sell them for.
Yeah, would I lose money on it?
God, that's a story arc. Okay. So yeah, you talk him down on the price to a point where I'm not going to make you roll because it's going to be a routine check. And if you somehow don't have the money, the Merchants Guild does.
Right.
So yeah, you've haggled this man down to a place where he's happy for the contract. I think that's part of it. Like, you're a reasonable person. He was kind of treating this like a bit of sport.
I see.
And the fact that you beat him, like, that's kind of exhilarating. Like, he's starting to think, like, maybe I'm getting on in years. And, like, yeah, the kids might be all right. So, yeah. Contract signed. You've got a source for sacramental gunpowder. I don't think it's worth making him do rolls in the background to see if it's actually good or not. You get the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These feel like things that are within the realms of core competencies, and I have to remind myself not to call for a roll anytime like it feels like an action's happening, only when failure's interesting. Which is a thing that I thought I'd learned in other systems, but I'm relearning it again. So, and that's a look inside Andrew's skull. Cool. So yeah, for the 6-segment clock of start a party, or 3-segment clock, mark one of the segments.
Start a party.
Yeah. Get this party started. There we go. Does anyone else have a thing that they would like to do? Is there a scene that's burning in the... We all feeling pretty good?
Yeah.
Do you not want anything?
I mean, I said I was gonna go take a nap, right? I think that for Indiso at least, like, maybe there's like maybe if you feel up to it, there's a dream sequence now.
Oh,
and then
yes.
like we hard cut time wise.
Let's do that right before end of session.
Yeah.
Because that feels like a fun note to end on. Margareta, were you around when you handed Lord Cartswallop off to Lady Anna Terreno, or did you just, all right, he's all yours, and then peace out?
I think like I waited around the corner
Okay.
here. Like it would be out of character for me to not find out.
Right. No, you want a secret out of her.
Right. I want to know what she was going to ask him that I want a tit for tat.
So if you let her get the thing first, she might be harder to get a secret out of. At the same time, like that way you definitely get to know what her question is.
That's fair.
So what's the sequencing here? What's the order of play? What's the order of operations?
I've proved my usefulness.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And like she would notice you hanging around the corner if you're eavesdropping. She's not going to not let you do that.
No, she wouldn't. She'll like.
She's going to just let you do that. Like, she's okay with that.
Okay. Yeah. So I do want to know.
Okay.
What she's interested in, and like why this? All right. So more information regarding that.
Okay. So yeah, we get the handoff, so to speak. Do you leave your sword through his hand into the table when you do the handoff?
Yeah, and then I'll come back and take it later.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you mentioned to Bruiser behind you. You should go get her. I've got this guy under control, sort of thing.
I've got a handle on this.
Yeah. And he's just like he's clutching his bad, like the wrist attached to the impaled hand with his good one. I think you think like you recognize he's trying to keep blood flow down so he doesn't bleed too excessively.
Well, that's clever.
And also, it just helps with the pain.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long for her, for Lady Treno to sort of walk around a corner. She sort of like looks at you, expecting you to cede the seat that you brought with you, so that she can sit down and address the prisoner.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll get up and like give it. Yeah.
Did you say anything, or?
Sort of an all yours, right? Like, no, I don't think so. Like,
Okay.
and it's like, listen carefully and answer truthfully.
To him?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to get out of here. So yes, sure, fine, done. And yeah, Lady Treno sits down, crosses like one leg over the other. Says, Lord Cartswallop, I know you act the fool, but we didn't abduct a fool. So, I have one question, or else my bruiser here, or quite frankly, whatever the hell she was, come back, because she was telling the truth, that no one is expecting you, no one is waiting for you, and everyone likely believes you to be deceased. So, what I want to know is when, like, it's going to be something like when will that treaty be ready? And it's the treaty that's going to annex legally Blast-Heath and Thundering Valley into Upper Argent.
Okay.
And he says, they don't fully know. There's too many intricacies in the law, but they're expecting soon, I believe. Definitely by the end of the season, hopefully by midsummer. That's all I've been told. And like his breathing's getting like deeper and more ragged.
So who is signing this?
It's going to be the would-be groom of the person what got murdered. And then presumably, because this is a fairly patriarchal society thus far, at least the city one, presumably the father of that royal what got assassinated.
Right.
And so they tried to do the thing by marriage that was thwarted. So now it's just going to be a treaty, but there's a bunch of weird legal stuff because special administration zone.
Right. Okay. So now I have a timetable.
Yeah. I think she's going to pull the sword out of his hand,
Okay.
and tell Bruiser to bind that, make sure he doesn't die. He might still know more. And then essentially just walk around the corner and like hilt forward towards you, offer you back your not clean sword.
I'll um. I suppose it's fairly rude to clean my sword on her bruiser. So,
Yes, that would fall. I mean, do you want to make the etiquette test?
I mean, I imagine that a violent traditionalist people probably have some sort of cloth they carry for this sort of thing.
I think it's the shoulder cape you're wearing.
I was about to say I think I would not be surprised if like the second in commands, like the manservants of the various nobles, have like the equivalent of that thing of the center wears in football for the
towel.
quarterback to wipe their like just the butt towel, just the butt towel for the
fancy nobles do. Margreta is a broke ass disfavored noble.
But I'm saying Lurch has that.
Yes.
Right?
Right, but she snubbed me yet again by not cleaning my blade by handing it to me.
I don't know that she snubbed you so much as just like you don't use another noble's butt towel. Like you probably carry your own, and like that's just a mark of shame you sort of keep with you, or you could ask like, "Yo, can I use?" Or just like go over and take it.
Or like very visually and obviously like just wipe my shoulder like it. You said something about a cape, right? Like just clean my sword on my cape, like in front of her, like just like wipe it on my shoulder, right, and then put it back in. Like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like that's right. I've actually injured someone. I've earned my scar. You have not. I don't know. Can I roll etiquette for that? Like to not to shamefully clean my sword in front of her.
Just don't break eye contact the whole time.
Right. It's display of etiquettal dominance.
You're opening etiquette. This is a thing that you are learning.
Oh shit! I don't actually
it's
have
gonna be
etiquette.
So good, Mike. You should do this. This is a thing that's only going to be like OB 17. You can totally do this, Mike.
Proper etiquette for a baronial lord. This is OB 2. So you've got 5 dice
against 4.
Against 4. Alternatively, you can throw one of your persona at it if you still have persona.
It's too late. I already rolled, and I got no 6s.
Yep. So yeah,
I was close though.
You were.
You were close.
Well, and she just like. It's the bless your heart is what you get, or like the oh honey.
It's less hard than it looks. Yeah.
It's the oh honey. Like she says, I could have had my man do that if I had known.
It's fine. I have a house now.
Right, and you're just like, yeah. my splendid daddy hooked me up. Great. Yeah, that's where you lose face.
Right.
And she just like silently regards you, like just stone-faced, like I'm surprised you were able to crack him.
I'm afraid that speaks
she's absolutely damning you with faint praise.
Right, but my response is the nice version of that speaks more poorly of your judgment skills than of my capability, than highly of my capabilities. Or maybe it's just that.
You're not wrong, child. There have been errors in my judgment of late. I can only assume you now understand the timetable we find ourselves operating under. Can I trust on your support in the coming weeks?
I mean, if I don't have anything more interesting going on, then I'm happy to help you.
I was really hoping for a yes, my lady.
The wordplay there is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so far there's been a couple. There's been a lot of good faith from me, and I feel like the scales aren't exactly balanced in that between us. So
you've yet to ask me of anything of me. Did I not give you access to an interesting new usurper? Did I not allow you to run your blade through his own flesh?
you allowed me to open a book for you to read.
Yes.
So perhaps there's a passage or two you wish to share with me.
And what would you know, child? What would you have me tell you, child?
Shit, I don't even know. I'm not.
I mean, so if Mike doesn't know, but Margareta would, we can do the roll and figure out what you get.
Yeah, let's do that. Right, because I want long-term assurances that doing this isn't going to wind up with her butt on the throne.
Oh,
Right, like I want to know. Like that's my long-term goal. Right?
Sure.
If,
So
if I get some sort of dirt now, then that helps me
Right.
more later.
so yeah, what you're looking for is some kind of dirt. Okay.
Like, what's your end game, right? Like,
Or you want to know
like-
where she's going? Okay.
like where are you going? Like, yeah, what's your end game here? But like, truthfully, because lying to me here shows me that I can't trust.
Right. This feels like either persuasion or interrogation, depending on your tack. Are you being friendly or are you being low-key shitty?
I feel like I'm being fairly friendly.
Okay.
Like, and the
You're
reason for
not
that
wrong.
is like, right? Like we successfully, we just did a thing together, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
We've got the opportunity here to be,
To be actual friends,
yeah,
or at least partners in crime.
and like respected coworkers, so to speak.
Sure. Okay. Seems like persuasion then. Because you're convincing her that opening up to you and like taking you don't have persuasion.
Do I not? Yeah, I just opening it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
This is
Seems like a great time to be like opening all your skills right now.
I mean, you gotta learn somehow.
That's right.
And this is a trial by fire. Great.
It's-
I don't know that there's someone more willful in this campaign other than like a player character.
I don't think we're more willful either.
I have a character sheet for this lady.
I got 6. Is that high end?
Yes, she's also at 6.
Oh boy. So I have to roll against 12.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the good news. You're going to learn more about persuading people. And you won't know when she lies to you. She might even not lie to you.
The good news is this is gonna probably still feel okay.
Yeah.
To do. Like,
It won't hurt.
Yeah, but like it's
What's,
all right. No modifiers versus 6. You said.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you rolled well on 4 dice.
wow.
Yeah.
So there are 2 6s there, Mike.
Can you get 9
I'm not
more
getting
successes?
9.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you miss 100% of the baskets you don't shoot, Mike.
I'm down to 5 fate. Like I should save it where where it's less than pointless.
Less
Or more than
pointless?
pointless.
Okay.
Yeah, less pointless. Thank you.
So yeah, she's child. I have no intention of ruling this barony. I have neither the patience for subtlety nor the inclination toward politicking that my nieces and nephews have. And she pauses and she takes a bit of a breath, and says,
What?
well, no, quite frankly, nor am I sufficiently inbred lazy, and just like goes on to list a bunch of things, and just vents about her shitty relatives to you.
Right.
Like inbred, lazy, gormless, unmotivated, and yeah, you get the idea that like you don't know that she has an end game. And if she has one, which I mean, maybe she does.
She just, successfully lied to me about it regardless.
Actually, no. She doesn't really have an end game. She might just be in this not for like kind of for the sadism, like kidnapping a dwarf and torturing him and denying him food and water. Like that's what you find out. You find out she's lying to herself, which is possibly more dangerous.
That's kind of cool.
Failure can be interesting. It's not always bad stuff. Just a brief tangent on the Roll20 Burning Wheel campaign that I think they had on hiatus. They might be resuming. But in one of the first sessions, someone rolled like 2 dice on an ob of 10 to summon God. And thereby just like took the entire campaign and was like, the Archangel of Winter is here to murder half of the country. So like, yeah, failure should be twists, and if I'm not doing that, feel free to like call me out. Maybe not on air, but yeah, she's kind of a sadist, kind of in this just to hurt people, and maybe less collected than you thought.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Like there might have been like a glint in her eye that you recognized when she handed you the bloody sword. Yeah. And then for our last scene. And then it was winter forever, Bagquill says yes. For our last scene, I don't know that we get a shot. Like, we don't get an establishing shot. I think we just jump in media res. And in Diso, you're having a pleasant dream. You're floating along. Like, it's an idyllic version of your vineyard.
Okay.
Moose is there. And you look away and you turn back, and Moose is turned into quail.
Okay.
And they seem to be trying to yell something at you, but it's a dream, and so it's kind of formless, kind of ephemeral, and it's like someone is shouting underwater. And you turn away again, or like we cut to your face reacting like puzzled, and we cut back, and it's somehow both of their faces and not, and you get this sense of like wholeness of being, of unification of purpose, and sort of like an understanding that transcends. By looking at this person, you understand that you are puny, tiny, fleeting, and they have just a depth of knowledge that is boggling to you. And you realize that this person who is both like the superposition of quail and moose and every other orc at the Two Tusk Vineyard that you've met, sort of superimposed on top of each other, and you realize it's Pokken.
Okay.
In your dream, trying to shout some kind of warning at, to, or through you. As this fine orange fuzz creeps up their left arm. And let's do end of session. Because that feels like a good place to stick a pin in things. Yeah. So let's start with Indiso, because I always open up your character sheet first, because it's alphabetically first.
All right. So the old god Pakun favors this grapery. I will locate someone learned in the orcish ways of worship to help me seal the pact.
Okay.
I did that. I located that person.
Mm-hmm. They're your friend.
They are. Moose is awesome.
They're definitely not
friend.
taking advantage of you.
No, they are totally above board and working with me in this great endeavor. I am building a great future for the grapery. I will direct construction to keep it moving apace.
Okay.
There's sort of a scene of that.
Did we roll anything though?
No, we didn't. I didn't really do a whole lot of directing at all.
Yeah.
So, my dreams have power and will show me the path forward. I will consult the Ancient One to better interpret the next scene. I didn't talk to her at all, so
Cool.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
Instincts. I will accept a drink if offered. Inquire if none is. I will look for occult signs in all things. I did a lot of asking around about that.
But did it get you in trouble or make your life complicated or dramatic?
Well, so looking for occult things is how I have the totally above board clergy that's definitely not pleasing me. For
Fair. That's a good argument. Okay.
And I will always follow my dreams. Again, didn't really come up this time.
Yeah, that'll be a next session thing. I imagine your third instinct and your third belief will fire hard next session.
Yes. Patience, I don't know. Off kilter.
Patient, you used to your advantage. You lawyered for patient to help you.
Yeah. Off kilter, prideful, violent, traditional. Yeah. None of those really came up in a way that's
Okay.
a problem for me. So I think I just get the one fate point for my instinct, and then probably have to rewrite my
Your first belief.
Pakun belief here.
I mean, so you can keep the first sentence. And
Yeah. That's what I've been doing for most of the time, is just like keeping or very mildly modifying that first sentence and then changing the thing after it.
Yeah. I think that's a good sort of approach to take. Lady Margreta.
I did okay. I did not. I made no progress on my beliefs, basically.
Yeah, so you can tell me to stop putting you in scenes where they don't fire functionally.
Or I could rewrite my beliefs so the scenes that I go in and actually give me the things I want.
Yeah, I mean, I should probably start opposing the things you believe more directly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, my beliefs are like working with other people to accomplish my goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We should set aside some time and talk about them.
Yeah.
But like, I pried a secret from a lip.
Mm-hmm. That got you in. That made your life more dramatic.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I met a few people that. It's always be network building. I mean, I either got in deeper with the Hunt's Mistress, or at least I think I did.
I mean, I think you are somewhat tied to her in the fact that she's not entirely fully hinged. Makes your life more dramatic. You committed a crime for her.
Yeah. But it was a fun crime. It was the fun crime of a violent traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say that violence and traditional came in there, if not perhaps prideful. So.
Sure. You shot back at her.
Yeah.
Your etiquette thing. And you're just like, no, I will do this myself because I earned this blood and its place on my shoulder.
That's right. And if somebody wants to front and asks, then yeah.
Cool.
That's blood. I made this here.
I made this. Okay. Yeah. That seems like 3 fate or 4 if you want to argue for violent, and like I think you can get 2 out of the prideful violent traditionalist making your life, because it feels like those kind of bleed into each other. Pun intended.
I'll take 3.
Okay.
So as not to belabor the point, considering that of the grenades I tossed in the water for
Right.
yeah.
I love that Margreta though was like, I've got an opening. Like, I can.
I should practice this.
Right. Like.
One day I'll have fewer than 12 skills open.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll have fewer than 12 skills that you're learning. Yeah. Great. Magnus.
Yes. So, belief that I need to rework about driving non-citizens out of business is, I have ideas for that, but I didn't do anything directly for that today.
Sure.
Increasing the members' wealth, guild members' wealth. I could argue that starting a festival is a good way of increasing wealth to
Sure. Yeah, you can
merchants.
grab fate for that. I don't know that you've
opening-
done the thing yet, but you're planning it.
Yeah. That's probably going to tie into the first one.
Mhm.
And then wealth has to be recognized by nobles. I'll open negotiations with them. I started that as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Foot in the water. Instinct, never pay full price for anything. I had a fun verbal sparring match with a noble that could probably have me killed if I insulted him.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, refusing to lie to make a deal.
I don't know that like
Yeah.
pulled you back at all, but definitely feels like 3 fate there though.
Right, I'll take it.
And then any of your character traits get you into trouble.
Trouble, no.
Okay.
I don't think I need trouble today.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right, so that'll do it for us for tonight. Let me get back to there. We go. We've been that D&D podcast. It's late on the East Coast, so I'm not going to belabor this much longer. We've been that D&D podcast. Hit us up on Patreon, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook at those things / that D&D podcast. Otherwise, come hang out next Tuesday. This has been a lot of fun. We'll see you around. Also, tomorrow night we have if you're watching this live, otherwise it's probably not tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Aaron will be playing Stand in Defiance, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
With Jason Tosharsky, who is the creator and designer of that game, along with a few other of our friends whom I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been...
Friend of the pod.
Anyways, so yeah, tune in tomorrow for that at 7 Pacific. Yeah. Otherwise, I almost said be good and be good at it because I listened to too much Waypoint Radio. Take care of yourself. Drink lots of water in this heat, assuming you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And otherwise, have a very pleasant and good evening.
Good night, Internet.